Yo. So, today, today, we got a lot to uncover. I don't even know how to say this title of this movie, but we're gonna get to it. We are gonna break down Lane, and there's a lot to say about this, so that's why I want to spend as much time as I can on this one. Honestly, this is a beautiful movie. This style of cinematography is just, it's spot on to kind of what I would want to kind of make, so we're just gonna highlight a few key scenes of stuff throughout this movie. For instance, the very beginning, him opening his eyes, it's very representative to the end of the movie, of this moment of him closing his eyes, and then that's when it's supposed to be him opening them, which is fire as fuck. So fire. That shit is so cool. It's almost, it's like, I don't think I really see much of that happening in movies now. But as we go on, literally right after this, the beginning scene, there's this awesome shaky push into them, and right there, that's the life-changing here, let me see, where's it at? Because it's when where's it at right here, that whole thing. this this moment is so cool. I love this moment. He's basically telling him to wake up his brother, and or telling his sister to wake him up, and this is his dream. He's just fucking getting it. He's just getting it. But even this this angle, it's so it's I don't know, it's creative. It's just him with his head, let's talk about the rule of thirds type shit of him, being on kind of the left side, and then that camera zoom to his, that shit is so cool.
Oh ta gueule, Saïd.
Oh quoi ta gueule, Saïd? Comment tu me parles, enculé? Parle-moi bien, je vais encore envie de te mettre des gifles dans ta gueule.
Vas-y, bouge de là, tu putes la gueule.
Eh, tu veux flamber dès le matin? Allez, vas-y. 1,
2,
2,
3.
It's good.
T'as perdu.
Ouais, ta soeur bâtard.
Eh, comment tu parles de ma soeur, toi? Qu'est-ce que je t'ai déjà dit à propos de ma soeur?
Putain, arrête, ta soeur elle sous tes trouves, casse-toi.
Pauvre juive, allez, vas-y. Je lui fais un carton et tout.
Him being directly in the middle of the frame.
Bon, il est où le touchy là?
The slow pan.
Ah ouais?
Kind of spinning
Vas-y, arrête de
around.
fumer, toi, ça te fait vraiment du mal.
Ça y est, dégage de mon lit où je diable avec vous.
Literally, if it's any film that's a literal piece of art, this is one of them. 100%. Just showing the environment of family. Just I love when films do this. It sheds light in their life, and in such a very calm way of giving them much more depth, of them as a person, without being without trying too hard. And of course the badass scene in the very beginning that a lot of people, they clip and shit like that, but for great reason. I mean, it's a fucking, cause he's sitting here and he's like, you talking to me? It's in a different language.
C'est à moi que tu parles là. Oh, c'est à moi que tu parles. Mec, c'est à moi qui parle, son cul. C'est à moi qui parle, putain. C'est à moi que tu parles comme ça, mec.
so fire. So
Je crois que je
cool.
fais n'importe quoi pour de l'argent. Je crois que je tuerais même des gens.
Like I
Quand son
wish
copain
I could
raconte ça, il
see
fait, je crois que je
people
tuerais
do
même- je tuerais
that
même toi
like
pour de l'oseille.
more and more in
Alors, tiens, il
films.
fait
Like
flip, il lui fait,
I don't know if it's
il lui
like
dit,
I guess like too cliche, but like
il lui dit, tu sais quoi?
honestly, bro,
Tu
like
non, je
it's
rigole,
a
toi, t'es
cool
mon
ass
ami, je te tue
fucking
pas pour de
it's a
l'argent.
cool ass
C'est
scene.
gratuit.
Like it's a
C'est gratuit. C'est pas
cool thing to reference, you know.
Oh, nique sa mère.
And then they like ended up going in this like abandoned place. I absolutely like we're only 11 minutes into this fucking like this movie right now, by the way, and we already seen the really cool fucking like him sleeping, the dream little sequence and stuff like that. You already seen him like opening his eyes and stuff like that, like starting from the beginning, and then it comes to this beautiful part of the homie just like training in the room, and it's so fun. Like this movie doesn't miss, bro. Like when it's just like studying film and being experimental, this is a movie to like definitely study. Like keep in mind the sound, the slow push, them sitting on the angle, like it's just like leaning against it, like panning right to a fucking thing, showing that he's a boxer, you know, like, and highlighting his name, like it's
Oh, tu
just.
fumais plus.
And keep in mind that whole time right there, that boxing
Oh,
didn't
tu fumais
stop,
plus.
like, because they like swap places. It's a small, subtle thing, but
mais
it's
qu'est-ce qui s'est
keeping the
passé ici?
tempo of like them being in a gym, you
Ça
know.
a cramé.
Bravo, tu peux revenir en deuxième semaine, Einstein.
Oh, tu cartonnes, cousin.
De toute façon, je savais qu'elle allait partir en fumée un beau jour.
Alors pourquoi tu t'es cassé le cul pour l'obtenir?
Parce qu'il pensait que ça valait la peine, trou de bite.
Mais c'est toi la bite. C'est qui a participé?
So
Faut
far.
même pas le savoir.
Eh mais Hubert, comment ils ont fait pour faire?
And then like them walking around, like always kind of keeping them three, because at this point within 13 minutes of the movie you've already created the top 3 characters that are already going to be there throughout the entire movie. I love this scene too.
Coup de tête balayette, je t'en ai fumé un, le bâtard de sa mère, je te jure.
Like it's so subtle. Like keep in mind they're just walking around, right? But they're making it so like
Coup de tête balayette, je t'en ai fumé un, le
entertaining.
bâtard de sa mère, je te jure.
Just them being them, like doing their normal day shit, just being homies, meeting up, clicking up, and then just like going to the park, you know.
YZ.
Toi, les Grecs, ça c'est ta mère en CR, ouais.
They're kind of like
No, it's
arguing
okay,
about
it's
like
Mohamed,
the type of bike it is,
Mais
right?
non, ça c'est la mère de Vince en YZ.
And like poking fun with
Lequel,
each
Mohamed,
other.
là
But it's like a homie thing to do, you know. Like it's like it does
Farida,
such a
tu veux me passer
fucking
son permis,
good
là?
job, such a good job of like
au marché là.
portraying their character and portraying how they are as like friends and what an actual friend group kind of does throughout the day, you know, like, and how they chill, how they kind of go on their little missions or whatever, you know, like. And this part is cool too. Literally, I might be seeming like I'm pausing a lot, but literally there's like so much in this movie to like
Vas-y, arrête,
take
on est
in.
sans pleurer.
I feel like even I'm moving fast too much, honestly.
C'est
But-
francs pour tout le monde, merde. 100 pour Hubert, c'est normal, on est sur son immeuble.
Prends la merguez là.
Ouais, c'est une première, mais reste dans les deux. Pardon.
Ah putain, relou, oh.
Vous devriez essayer.
Non, putain, mais par contre, j'ai 5 francs pour moi. Tiens.
Vas-y, arrêtez. Ok, d'accord, les gars.
It's just homies being
Ouais,
homies,
rappelle-toi,
bro.
n'oublie jamais.
Vas-y, fais pas l'enculé, fais-moi crédit. Oh,
Vas-y, ta soeur, je vais lui faire crédit aussi à ta soeur.
mais comment tu parles de ma sœur, toi?
Arrête de te prendre au sérieux,
Mais
pour
comment-
que tu rebeux un carton. Ça y est, bâtard, ici tout de suite. Dans la merguez. Ça y est. Dans la merguez. Bâtard. Tiens, c'est-
Vous avez pas de francs pour ma merguez?
Non, on n'a pas, on n'a pas. Non, on n'a pas, je te jure. Ah non, on n'a pas.
Yeah, them just chilling. Let's see. The police coming and kind of like harassing them. But it's like a good moment that you see that they almost like try to keep their head like out of trouble right here. Like you'll see the difference. I feel like one of these parts right here is like you'll definitely see the difference of like their character right off rip of like who they are like kind of like kind of what they would do in situations of like stress or whatever. Like in this moment, this is the first representation of what they do, you know. Just keep in mind of like the top 3 characters that you kind of know. He's getting like pulled aside because he's basically telling him like, get out of here, bro. Like, you're too young for this shit. You don't need to be riled up with the police. Like, just go. But he's a lot more hard-headed and he wants to stay and like he doesn't care really. He's just like kind of more disappointed. Like kind of building a little bit of that, like the personality difference. Because around this time, I think it was like basically a revolution was like kind of being held around this like around the setting of this movie.
Comment ça s'appelle, Vin, ce truc là?
Quoi, genre un string et tout là?
Un quoi?
Un string, abruti.
Ouais, enfin bref. La meuf sur la même. Mais je l'ai niqué, mais d'une force. Et c'était grave, elle était dans la chambre.
But even just that little park scene right here, that shit is fire. Like them just sitting there. And like the slow push, like that right there, that's sick as fuck. It's just the angle, it's all how you position. More and more throughout this movie, it's just like it builds character, like of just them together, like as a friend group. You're just growing more and more attached to these 3, you know. They're very like, you know, it's a very active day for them, you know, very active friendship. Always these like subtle push-ins. They're always very nice to see. It's just kind of slowly pushing in. You know, far left, you kind of see like his character. He's a lot more of like the silly one, not really taking anything really serious or whatever. And then you got the one on the right. It looks like he always kind of has his mind on something else, you know, being an athlete, being somebody that, you know, has an outlet. And I think that's always something to like really kind of always keep in mind as like directing, is like staying true to their character and like not having them jump out of character, but almost like adding more to the character, putting them in situations where you can see that he is more disciplined because he is like a fighter, you know. But yeah. It's still showing like, you know, the view right here, this very station, like it's a piece of art right here, you know, like them just sitting there. I think at this point he like gets up, and then I think the kid goes, oh, like this doesn't seem like a good idea, or like this seems like bad or whatever. She ends up like dabbing him up and leaving. But even just, bro, subtle things like this build so much of like, let's say usually a movie would kind of just skip past this part of like, of a plaza or like a, you know, a park of some sort. But just the subtle of like them showing the syringes and stuff like that, it's such a great way to like build character within their environment that they live in. You know, it's like the homelessness. Once you see syringe, it immediately puts you to like homelessness, heroin, things like that. It's like a bad area, you know, graffiti, and they're just like chilling at this park. But it seems like they're very comfortable at this park, you know. But yeah, this whole scene right here, I think he's like, yo, I want to show y'all something. And then this is when it has this like cool ass zoom in.
Comment il est mortel en vérité, putain. Liberté masse.
Il est beau sa mère.
I think the plot of this gun was that like it was ditched or something during a riot, and like the police breaking it up. Cool ass fucking scene. I think this scene is actually a little bit like in like a little bit more tension between them two, because like, okay, let's break this part down real quick. This is how I feel about this like part. He hands the gun to him and he starts pointing the gun towards him, almost like, you know, when you point a gun at somebody, you want them dead or whatever, but it's always like a sense of conflict between two of those characters. And you see him examining the gun, and then he points it towards him, and he reacts in a way of like this. But guess who like comes right around the corner right behind him? He's the one that always tries to hold them together. You know, he's like the funny guy that like kind of glues their relationship together, you know, pulls them out of the rooms. You know, I feel like if they were by themselves, they wouldn't really be around each other because they feel like they might not have too much in common. But you kind of have like this middle ground character like him to be able to help them blend together, be together, because they have so much conflict. Maybe it's competition, maybe it's just they plain don't like each other for moments. But honestly, I think it's competition, really, because he's a lot more disciplined, a lot like a fighter. He has a lot more going for him. But this guy, he's a lot more like, he's the big bad guy, you know, like he wants to be like all like macho, but he's not. See, he's basically calling him a bitch right now because he knows like, he knows that that gun isn't like is a defense mechanism. It's not more of a it's because he can't, he's basically saying you can't fight your own fights, you need a gun to be able to back yourself up, you know, that conflict, I'm better than you type shit. But it's cool. I love like, they're not, it's not villain versus, you know, it's not antagonist protagonist type of thing. It's just like a relationship with somebody that you have like competition with, you know. I think that's always healthy for everybody's life to have. It holds you accountable to what you want to be, to what you want to do, even if it's like polar opposites, you know. And I would say the reason why this scene right here even sticks out to me is like, he goes and he puts the gun, like he goes and he's like, ah, fuck, and he's like, should I take it? And then he goes and he puts the gun back. When he puts the gun back, he comes right back around the corner and he stops himself and he's like, man, like, I'm gonna go get that shit. Fuck it. Like, fuck him. I'm not gonna let him get to me. Fuck him. And I would say with, before any kind of tragedy in somebody's lives, at least like with a personal experience, is like, you have a moment where you like, you have a moment where you have like a path that you can take. You can either go this way or you can go that way, but you always have a moment that you make the decision, and like, it might stop you for a second. You're like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And then you end up doing it anyways, and then you suffer the consequences later on. Like, the story building in this is so realistic to me. It's so like straightforward that you can relate to it so much, because there are those moments where you have that last second decision of, should I do this, should I not? But then you end up doing it anyways, and then that's what led to the further part of the movie of like, you know, him with the gun. You know, like, it could have, a lot of things could have been avoided if he would have just kept the gun in the toaster, or like in that place right there. But that's, I love the story in this movie because it's so relatable, of having those last minute like decisions. But then you see almost like a change of character in him. he gets a lot more like hostile. He gets a lot more like, he has more like chest hair. Like he's trying to poke his chest up high. He's arguing with a police officer right now, and you see that guy, his face. He's like what the fuck? Like, why is he acting like this? He's kind of like, bro, like chill out. Like you have no reason to be like this. But come to find out, the reason why he was acting like this in the first place was because he had the gun on him. It's because he had the gun on him and he was trying to be like a tough guy, you know? These scenes are pretty cool too. Like I love like that subtle. They had to go pick up their homie from jail because he like got taken when they were in the hospital. But it's like silent, but it speaks so much. Everybody has their eye on them because like they're the textbook version of a suspect of these riots and these things. Young, you know, they look angry, how they dress, they're very like trendy of that moment. Like they're just like, that's why they're eyeballing them, is because like they're basically kind of like confused why they're just standing there in the middle of the police station when they should be like behind bars, you know. Yeah, this is the moment where they were basically saying like, why were you sitting there acting like that? Like, and he was like, because I had that shit on me. I would have fucking blew down that cop. Like I would have fucking killed him. And like you see him, it shows so much of his character. You know, he's chilling, he sees that he has the gun and he almost gets shocked. He's like, fuck dude, like you're so fucking stupid. Like he's a lot more smarter, he's a lot more mature, he doesn't take things so much personal. And so he's shouting it out like, bro, like why are you fucking sitting here with this gun? Like you're so fucking stupid. He's like, I should fucking beat your ass and show you what it's like to like fight as a man than just fucking sit there and just wave around a gun and try to like, you know. And guess who's between? The funny guy, the guy that's trying to glue their relationships together. He's always trying to like help them be like friends, you know. Now he's put in a position where he's like trying to fight between both of them to like keep them together or whatever, but the conflict always overrises, you know. This is a lot of his character too, you know. Seeing his mother hardworking. It doesn't look like he has a father. You know, helping his sister out with homework. You know, basically his mom trying to set him straight too. She'll talk about it like, oh, like don't be out here doing all that stupid shit, you know, like. But it shows the difference between their lives, you know. Because earlier we seen like him at his house, it's a lot more chaotic, a lot more's going on, so they don't really pay too much mind to him, but he still has his outlet though, you know. I think, honestly I don't know what this is, but I think it might be like Za, just like in a different format, I don't know. He ends up like rolling it up. But I love this scene too, because you know he like started his music, but this slow push in right here, it's so fire. This whole movie just has such good cinematography. It's just building like a setting, you know. A beautiful scene. Gives character to their environment. It gives character to like them personally, because this is like a very common spot that they be at, you know, just the park. But it makes it, you know, entertaining. And knowing what this movie stands on, you know, knowing what this movie stands for, you know, the revolutionary part of it, you know, the riots and shit. Then back to back and just, oh, dude, literally every single part. The cat. Yeah.
Ta gueule!
Putain, mais t'es mal à vache, tête de ma mère.
Mais ta gueule avec ta vache, toi!
Sur la tête.
Vas-y, viens, reviens, taper les cheveux.
Hey, attends, j'ai vu la vache là, elle était là, putain, la même.
Mais c'est toi la vache!
Tête de ma mère, elle était là la vache, putain, je te. Mais arrête, tu me crois pas, je te jure, je viens de la voir là!
Ta gueule!
Great movie.
Canardo.
Bruh. It's just homies being homies, bro. This shit is just so like.
Ok, mamie, d'accord, c'est bon.
It's so like I said, it's so relatable, you know.
Histoire de vache.
He's basically telling him like, don't fuck up my hair.
C'est chaud. Qu'est-ce que tu crois ça?
Like-
Déjà dit, arrête de bouger, ça, il s'en déconne, t'es relou. Doucement, je te chou. Bouge pas, je te dis.
Et tu vas vraiment tuer un keuf si Abdel il meurt?
Et alors, qu'est-ce que tu crois? Toi, tu veux être le prochain robot à te faire fumer dans un commissariat?
Non.
Ah bah alors, tu crois quoi? Moi non plus.
Toi non plus, tu veux pas être le prochain robot à te faire fumer dans un commissariat?
Exactement, tu crois quoi? Les mecs, ils croient
Beautiful
qu'on
shot
tu vois.
too.
Mais moi, sans déconner, ça, je te dis la vérité, je gaulerie pas, quoi. Bah ouais.
Et doucement, doucement, doucement. C'est bon, c'est bon. Doucement. Je veux pas avoir des calibres aussi gros. C'est pas. Qu'est-ce que t'as fait là?
Regarde, je te jure, sur la tête de ma mère, ça va.
Quoi? Sur la tête de ta mère quoi? Pourquoi
Ouais,
tu
sur la
jures?
tête de-
Pourquoi tu jures?
Je jure parce que je te dis, y a rien.
Et là il fait froid là, pourquoi il fait froid?
Fuck
Parce
this
qu'il fait
hair
froid,
up.
c'est rien, ça, c'est parce qu'il fait froid ici, c'est tout.
Quoi il
voilà.
fait froid ici?
Et voilà, ça va. Écoute-moi, sans déconner, je te dis, moi, je vais égaliser et ça va, ça, c'est
Y'a
rien.
Rachida, arrête! Vas-y, fais-moi voir. Vas-y, fais-moi
Putain,
voir.
sans déconner,
C'est-
la confiance, hein, voilà. Tu vois? Vas-y, tu vois pas, tu t'aimes pas.
Just
tu
homies
sais
being
rien.
homies, right?
Fais-moi confiance,
Mais
bordel.
quoi? Fais ma confiance
Qu'est-ce
quoi?
qu'il a? Il est beau le trou.
Mais pourquoi
C'est
il
pas
fait-
un trou d'abord, je vais
Pourquoi il fait
égaliser.
froid là?
C'est rien, je te dis. Tu me fais pas confiance, t'es relou, sans moi je te coupe pas ta cheveux, hein.
Fuck this shit up. Fuck this shit up, bad.
Ouais,
Rigole pas! Tu parles, c'est ça?
qui tue ça? Alors t'arrêtes de beffler, tu me fais confiance.
New York?
Ouais.
Mais de quel New York tu parles? C'est ça la mode à New York? Tu te fous de ma
Fucking
gueule ou quoi? On
his
dirait un punk!
Vas-y,
Rigole pas!
Allez, vas-y, ça, il bouge.
Vas-y, reste derrière, dégage, reste derrière!
I love this scene too. Them breakdancing and stuff.
Pas comme ça, d'abord tu lui parles pas!
Because this is around that, you know. Art capturing art, bro. As much as cinematography, as painting, as dancing is an art. 5-0. He has to stick it though. So far. Shit. That's also the same guy that picked him up from the police station and shit, pretty sure. Great back-to-back scenes. And I like this part right here too. Literally, like, the last person in line was him, and he was like close, you know. And then the cop. This is his moment. And this is his moment. And guess who's caught in between, you know? The homie that doesn't fuck with that shit. And what does he do? Instead of being the one to always pull that gun out, he socks him in the face instead, you know? Which is a lot less, I mean, than killing a cop, you know? But then, like, he has that moment where, like, right after this, he's like, bro, right in front of that motherfucker, I could have blown his ass down, like, bro. It shows the different view of their character, you know? He doesn't want nothing to do with it. He knows that he's lying right now. Exactly. He's just like, fuck, bro. Like, I love the tension between both of their characters. It's so well written. And of course, the most beautiful dolly scene ever, bro. The dolly zoom on this, like, I've seen so many, but I think it's just maybe because I favor their characters. But, like, it's just so fire. So well placed. This, oh fuck. Like, I don't know what it's called. It might be like fucking like screen cutting or like screen splitting or something. I think it's like screen split. I'm not too sure. But it's just keeping these three always kind of like in frame, you know? Like, it's their journey. The mirror reflecting off of him, and like mirror reflecting off of him. Like, it's just so, it's so perfect.
T'attends un peu, Vince? Ça va un peu de la colère? Ça va pas? Non. T'es sûr? Ouais. Un peu?
Keep the shit, like, things like these in mind when you guys are recording, bro. Like, honestly.
D'abord, toi, t'es déjà un cacoleur.
This is peak cinematography.
Bah, c'est bon, vous allez vous faire la gueule encore longtemps? Après, j'ai dit deux mots à vous prendre la tête sur des conneries.
Ah, d'accord, 100% d'accord avec toi.
At this point, they're like having like mad conflict in between each other, and then they're like basically yelling at each other and kind of like talking about the situation. And then
on est trois comme des merdes et quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu fais quelque chose toi pour changer quelque chose? Tu bouges pas ton cul toi non plus. Alors moi je vais vous dire un truc parce que vous êtes mes amis, ok? Tu sais quoi? Moi si Abdel il passe, je vais rétablir la balance et je te shooter un keuf. Comme ça, il faut bien comprendre une bonne fois pour toutes que c'est fini, on tend plus l'autre joue.
Attends, sans déconner, la façon dont tu viens de parler, là, on aurait dit un mélange entre Moïse et Bernard Tapie.
Sans déconner, Vince, lâche l'affaire, t'es complètement guélard dans cette histoire, sans déconner. Attends, Saïd, si Abdel meurt, on perd un pote oui ou non?
Ouais.
Ok, s'il crève un keuf, ça fait qu'un keuf de moins, oui ou non?
Bah ouais.
Il est tout seul, t'es tout seul. Voilà, t'es tout seul, tu peux pas trouver tous les keufs.
Mais qu'est-ce que t'as des leçons de morale à donner? Toi, t'es tellement supérieur pour dire ce qui est bien, ce qui est mal, quoi. Hein? Pourquoi t'es jamais de mon côté? Pourquoi t'es toujours du côté des enculés d'abord?
Attends, de quel enculé tu parles, putain? Si t'étais allé à l'école, tu serais... La haine attire... Attends! La haine attire, la haine...
Mais j'ai pas été à l'école, quoi? Moi, je suis de la rue, moi. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Je suis de la rue, c'est ce qu'elle m'a appris, moi, la rue à moi. Elle m'a appris que tu donnes ta joue, tu te fais niquer ta mère, et puis c'est tout. Alors tu me laisses, vas-y, bouge.
Hé, de quoi tu parles, sans déconner? Tu viens de braquer un truc avec un plein de flics, tu aurais pu te faire tuer, lui aussi!
Ça fait vraiment du bien de chier un coup. Vous croyez en Dieu? Il ne faut pas se demander si on croit en Dieu, mais si Dieu croit en nous.
And this
J'avais
guy's
un
story
ami
is so
qui
symbolic.
s'appelait Grunwaldski. On était déportés ensemble en Sibérie. Quand on va en Sibérie, dans les camps de travail, on voyage dans le train à bestiaux qui traverse la steppe glacée pendant des journées entières sans croiser personne. On se tient chaud ensemble. Mais le problème, c'est que pour se soulager, pour chier, c'est pas possible dans un wagon. Et le seul moment où on s'arrêtait, c'était pour mettre l'eau dans la locomotive. Mais
But see who's like more engaged into what he's talking about,
même
you
quand
know?
nous devions nous laver ensemble,
Like,
il était très gêné. Et moi, je me moquais souvent de lui à cause de ça. Donc, le train s'arrête et tout le monde en profite pour aller chier derrière le wagon. Et moi, j'ai tellement embêté Grunwaldski avec ça. Il préférait aller un peu plus loin. Donc, le train repart, tout le monde y sort dedans, car le train, il n'attend pas. Le problème, c'est que Grunwaldski s'est éloigné derrière un buisson. Il n'avait pas fini de chier. Alors, je le vois, il sort de derrière un buisson, en tenant son pantalon dans sa main pour ne pas qu'il tombe. Il a essayé d'attraper le train. Je le tends la main. Mais chaque fois, quand il me tend les siennes, il lâche son pantalon, il tombe sur ses chevilles. Il remonte ce pantalon, il reprend sa course, et chaque fois, son pantalon il tombe quand il me tend la main.
Et alors, après, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Rien. Grunwaldski,
that shit sucked at translating it, but basically within his story, they're basically within his story, he kept talking about how a train only had one stop for everybody to use the bathroom. Instead of him going to the restroom like everybody else would, the other guy went behind a bush and he started, using the restroom. But then every time, like, the train needed to start going. So he gets done, kind of finished with his business, but then he tries to run and go on this train. But then, like, his pants keep falling down, and every time he pulls them up and runs, his pants will fall down again. But anytime he runs, his pants, So it leaves you to think, like, within how can that symbolic story kind of shed light onto their situation? Personally, how I take it is that you can't live a double life. You can't have, like, kill a cop and continue to live and be this macho man. You're gonna end up going to jail. Your road is gonna end. Like your time is gonna catch up to you, one way or another. Whether if you try to keep pulling up your pants or not, you're gonna keep trying to pull up your pants, but you're still having to run after this freight train, run after this double life. But your pants just keep fucking falling, And that's kind of how I take it. It's just like old wise man, like, I guess, like, lore or whatever the fuck, like a saying to, like, basically keep the youngins in check, But they end up going up to sick ass little fisheye. That's cool. And then, like, within this, I don't think, you don't see old boy, but he, like, pushes him out the way and, like, starts talking in the thing too. Basically there. And then you see all three. It's such a fire ass, like, that little angle right there, keeping them all three in frame. It's art, bro. It's art. And like this moment right here before they go in, like he kind of like peeks in the fucking fire. This little passing scene of him with the gun, so fire. This is a silly little scene. Like it a lot though. And bro, this right here, them going down the stairs. This scene honestly shows a lot about his character. He ends up like, you know, pointing the guns at each other and they're all trying to like fucking like, oh, what's up then? What's up then? Like he's basically that motherfucker's with it. Like he does, like he's coked out of his mind, has a gun of his own. Like he's like fucking blowing somebody down, fucking kill somebody. He's crazy. And so he has that moment where he's meeting fire with fire, but like he was toying with him the whole time, showing him that he's not with it, you know, like. But then you have this sick ass fucking scene right here. This scene is fire. Like just the camera like slowly going like this, and then them arguing around the stairs. And then it slowly, because this is uncut right here, catching right onto them, tracking them down the stairs. Just doing stuff like that instead of doing the basic, like, just kind of tracking somebody that's just walking down the stairs, you know. This shit fire right here. Like, every scene always has, like, a symbolic view of, like, isolation or conflict. The different lighting. Gosh, such a great movie. Such a great shot right here too. This is a fire shot. Oh, dude. Everything about this little scene right here is so fire. Just those close-ups. Seeing his hair. His eyes, his attitude. It's giving that the character or the actor enough time to show his emotions, to show his acting. Stable shots, fire ass car shot. Fuck with the beam. What is that? A 323i? Fire. Personally, got a 533i. 1984. She's my little baby. Such a great little like. And with this, you almost see like his crowd change, you know? After all that conflict happened between those other two. He's starting to hang around, like, I guess what you would say, more of the nitty gritty of people, you know? The ones that will get him in trouble. But it's not the same crew, because it's that wannabe 3 trio, but it doesn't feel the same. Because at that point, he's hung around there for too much. The guy that he has the most conflict with is more of like, more of like level-headed, but now that guy has a gun and he's a lot more crazier, you know. He's holding back and he's like trying not to be too involved with like, but now he's in it, you know. This is the life he chose, this is the shit he wants to do, and now it's at a moment where he's suffering the consequences. Like, this is the life he wants. This is the life he chooses. What a great little scene too. Great way to like show, like, looking directly into the camera, you know. Some people fear it, you know, but it's like crossing the 180 rule or things like that. It's like a bit frowned upon, but when it's done, like, it has to be done well. Your actor also knows how to has to know how to really show well emotion, being able to look into the camera like that. Love the lighting too, like, for a black and white film, you know. Oof, this shot right here. That, like, always try to find these shots that you know are like are nice to the eye, you know, like it could be so subtle of them walking down the street instead of just doing the basic following with, you know. Instead, you're just building more setting within the car or within the scene, like of the cars like being on that lane. And this, like, this shows them. I like this scene a lot because one beautiful shot right there. Yeah. Beautiful shot. The Eiffel Tower in the back, him rolling up, you know, his ring on his hand. But keep in mind how we talked about how, you know, that funny character always trying to like involve both of them into a conversation. But at this point right now, he's almost distracted, and they're having a one-on-one kind of like a bit of an intimate moment where they're able to have a conversation, you know, doing ritualistic practice of like just smoking together, having a good time, you know, on top of the building, soaking in this view. And the homie, he's just more like distracted than anything. He's not trying to like glue their relationship together. At this point, both of those characters have had so much development where they're able to start to kind of put aside each other's egos, you know, just be themselves, smoke up, and just talk like friends. And I think this is a cool way to like show that smoothness of their relationships kind of coming to that conflict end, you know, because in the very beginning it was like they couldn't really talk to each other without getting after each other's necks or something. And then you have a beautiful shot of the Eiffel Tower again between both of them, symbolizing progress, rebuilding. And even just that subtle, just look at that. He goes this way, and instead of going that way, he hesitates and goes the other way. Almost like they're going on the same path. They're going, like, instead of, if it showed more conflict, he would have went this way and he would have went this way, crossing paths and like going different directions. But he almost like stepped over there and went the other way, symbolizing, you know, they're on the same road, the same path. They're equally, you know, No clue what that spells, but still fire. Great shot. What? Let's see. Let's see what that says. What is it? News. French. It is our turn. Fire. That is fire. So if you've ever wondered what that means in Lahaine right here, or Lahaine, like, bro, it means in French. It's a French phrase. Means it's our turn, or to us, or on with it. You know, as you know from Haine, it's a very like revolutionary movie. You know, like in the point in this movie, there's a lot of like police brutality. There's a lot of you know, riots and things like that. That's why they open up with, you know, Bob Marley burning and looting. Burning and looting tonight. Beautiful. The visuals behind, the silhouette of him, but still it's not too of a harsh silhouette, so you can still see like his, you know, such a beautiful movie, bro. Honestly. If you haven't yet watched this movie, watch it, bro. But they're soaking it in, you know? That's one of their close friends that was like lost in like the riots or something. I think he might have like passed away or something. I think it's always a great representation of this movie to like see like it's just that moment right there. Because he always takes it personal. That's always like his trigger. Seeing him wanting to kill a cop, you know, for like getting it back in blood. And now he has that moment where he's like visualizing it. Like daydreaming of it. Because he takes it so personal. Such a great scene though. Him vanishing after seeing that face. Because if you remember in the very first scene, he kind of goes like this into the mirror, almost like he's like shooting himself, you know, him being his worst enemy is like the symbolism of it, I feel. Always kind of getting in the way of himself. But he always has this goal of like killing this cop to like either prove himself, show him that like he can kill somebody, kill a cop. But they just had that touching moment within like basically he thought he was over with it, you know. That's why they had that conflicting bonding moment on top of the roof. But the other guy still sees that he has that in him, you know, that pride. And then you have the scene where they get mugged. So then it's the time where like I guess like he's in a point where he has to stand up for, you know, his homies. you can see he's still like, just that's his character, bro. He doesn't like guns, you know. Same thing with him. He loves guns. That's his character. Any opportunity to be able to kind of like threaten somebody like that, to feel bigger. And it's showing his character now of like he's basically tempting him. He's like, do it, because he knows his friend. He knows he doesn't want to do that shit. So he's like kind of like forcing him, like, bro, you want to fucking be like this? You want to do this shit? Because he doesn't like guns. He doesn't fuck with that shit. But he's feeding into it at this point. He's like, this is what you want, bro. This is a human life. Like, you want to be this person that wants to take somebody's life that you've been fucking parading around their entire town of doing it. Do it then. You have the gun. You have this moment. It's not a cop, but it's still a human life. Symbolism in this shit is so fire.
Vas-y, shoot-le.
Just watch this scene one more time, because like I said, it's such a great scene.
Laisse-le. Tu veux rendre service à l'humanité, c'est ça?
He's like, is this what you want? This is what you want to do? Do it then.
Tu vois, mais un bon skin, c'est un skin mort. Tire. Vas-y, shoot-le.
So fire.
Vas-y, tire, tu nous as fait chier toute la journée. Vas-y, tire maintenant, putain.
Because he's talked about killing this cop this entire movie. He's talked about being in town, walking around, being like, if I ever fucking kill this cop, like whatever. Like it's his whole character at this point. He's like, this is what the fuck you want, then do that shit. But his friend, being his friend in his ear, like this whole time he hasn't been enabling it. But now at this point he's enabling it. He's like, do it then. Like, because he knows his friend so well, and he knows he doesn't have it in him, you know. He's not a killer, you know? And his friend knows that too, you know? So that's why he pushed him so hard like that. It's that make it or break it moment where he shows him like that's not you, it's not what you're made of. And at this point it shows the funny character, not the funny character that's supposed to like kind of like glue them together. They're all separated at this point, all isolated from their crew, what they are as friends. They're unable, they're so drawn from this whole situation that they felt so unable to. And then they have this moment where he finally like he gives it up, he's just like he's like, take it, bro, like I'm not built for this shit,
On s'embrasse, on chante une chanson.
Oh, va te coucher le relou.
Bon allez viens. Bon Vince, viens. À demain Hubert. Tu connais
That's
l'histoire
love,
de la
bro.
bonne sœur? Alors c'est un mec bourré. Alors comme ça, il sort d'un bar et il voit une bonne sœur sur le trottoir d'en face. Tu sais les bonnes sœurs avec les grandes capes noires là. Et peuf, il lui met une grosse cacahuète dans les dents. Et peuf, encore une autre. Et au bout de 5 minutes, quand il l'a bien
Oh, they go separate ways.
au bout de 5 minutes, quand il l'a bien lâché, il la regarde comme ça et il lui fait: Hey, je te croyais plus fort que ça.
But then he comes across the moment where he's getting like harassed.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Ah, regardez là. Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Sans tes copains, tu flippes ta mère. Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Tu flanques moi, hein? Qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
So now it puts him in the position right now, because he just handed him the gun. So you see him like, he finally changes his ways as a character, and he finally gives him the gun. He's like, you know what? I'm not built for this shit. This isn't my character, So he hands it to the person that he thinks is the most responsible, and to a point where he starts to see where he actually might need that gun. Within that point, he's getting harassed by this guy that has a gun, he runs up on him and he's just sitting there toying with him, you know. So he's trying to stick up for himself as if, you know, the shit that he learned, you know. It's just
C'est l'histoire d'une société qui tombe et qui, au fur et à mesure de sa chute, se répète sans cesse pour se rassurer. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. L'important, c'est pas la chute. C'est l'atterrissage.
damn, bro. Stop the violence. Honestly, like it's a very, very symbolic movie, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so that's Lahain. Damn, we're already an hour. Dude, I could yap for so long about movie. I kid you not, I just sat here and yapped about this movie for dead ass an hour, bro. A fucking hour. That is how good this movie is, bro. Like, from start to the beginning, or from the beginning to the end of this movie, it's just filled with really, really good story, really, really good cinematography, and just character development as a whole. Like, showing the difference within just 3 people. I love when movies do that, of 3 people of their alignments. You know, this isn't the only movie that I've seen that has kind of done that. But like with this, it does such a great like job at it. Gosh, beautiful movie, and it's all in black and white too, bruh. And then this right here, this is a bit of like a easier one to kind of go over. This one is like, it's not a movie, I guess you would say, like it's a movie. There's a certain like way of like a category of what it's in. Let's see. It should say it right here. Life out of balance. I'm just trying to think of like. Oh, it's a documentary. Yeah, it's like a documentary. It's like it has like for this movie they had like a specific orchestra that they like worked with to create this movie or this documentary. But yeah, that's the type of thing it is. It's not necessarily like your basic like documentary, I guess. There's like no talking, and there's like certain sections that like speak volume. I love this part about like the grid, basically. It's like them. I'm pretty sure this is the one, right? Oh, this is the ending of like them being like
Hey mom, now
like
that I have
human, I guess you would say. The grid. Let's see. It's not that one. Is it the pulse? It's so shitty quality though. I keep showing this one, but it's not, because it doesn't show, like, it starts to show technology towards the end of it. This is like the beginning of like the rocket, but it literally does such a good job of like the rocket, the fire, which is dry, you know, and then it like jumps to like, you know, this like the sand, you know, grinding up the difference of the clouds, and then showing like storms, showing water. It like fades into each other so well until it shows like both of them kind of at the same time, dry and with the water, like this, how you just seen that it was like the sand and, you know, the kind of desert area. But then it shows like this pipe, right? It shows like this really long pipe. And where does this pipe lead to? Into the city, civilization. And it goes like a whole thing of like the world, you know? These are so fire. These like really nice face zooms on all these people. Does it on this one, does a little stable shot of this. So fire. These are really great shots. The sun, city life. But keep in mind, like, this city's almost like, how I see it is like grid, you know, it's like technology. All those little like, you know, fixtures of light. Beautiful moon scene. Like having just this right here, like in a movie, you know, like something so simple, but it speaks so much volume. Back to like shit like this, it's just, if you ever feel like stuck, where you're like, I don't really know what to do, like with certain movies or something like that, that's like kind of environment like, do this shit. But it leads from civilization like this, that's what I love. It leads from like civilization being like this technology, and then it starts kind of making that like, you know, connection slowly but surely. It does such a good job of like connecting that, of how we move like we're a machine, you know, like we're a machine. You know, like literally until the machine, you know, that it's its own life, like it's its own. But it's a great one to like I said, if you feel any type of way where you need to like kind of like push yourself to like find better like environment kind of shooting, use this, because it helps so much with that. It just puts you in such a different view of the world, even, you know. It's with this, it's such a great thing that you can like watch it and you put your own, what at the end of it, it's how you feel about it. It's not, there's no real right answer about this documentary. Like, it's about what you take away from it. I took away from it something completely different that you might be able to take away from it. it's just one of those things, you know. It's like it took me when I watched it, it took me away from it, as if like just be more appreciative of the things around you, as little as it may seem. It humbled me of like how a lot of things are made, you know, how factories run and the people that run it, and all the time and dedication that it's taken to build literal cities and skyscrapers, and you drive past them and drive on them, like, you know, like big highways and stuff like that all the time, but you never take in consideration how much time and effort it took into like building those things, and you just drive right past it every single day. And that right there, just like watching it does a really good job of kind of like taking yourself out of yourself and appreciating the world around you. um, as well as the music's really good. Like, it's all orchestra, no words, so you with short attention spans fucking skip along, because like this will genuinely change your life if you and like embrace it all, you know, like really study it, and like it's one of those that just touch you differently. And it's not, like I said, it's not always the right answer, you know. There is no right answer to this documentary. You can feel any type of way you want to feel about it. But yeah. Well, I reached my time again. We're gonna go over all that, you know, we can still talk about. We have we talked about La Haine. We talked about that. We talked about Raging Bull. You know, haven't talked about Django yet. Haven't talked about Kill Bill. I've been leaving a little bit of the Quentin Tarantino films. I should have talked about Quentin Tarantino, because I'm repping my fucking Pulp Fiction shirt on right now. But yeah. Yeah, he has fucking banger after banger. You know, he has Kill Bill, Django, The Hateful Eight, the Reservoir Dogs, and he also has Inglourious Bastards. There's a lot of great scenes in Inglourious Bastards that like, that's just gonna, like, talking about his portfolio, probably each movie would take like an hour to kind of break down. Obvious, the Pulp Fiction, you know, like there's so many bangers on Quentin Tarantino's like list that will definitely go on. Like, I can talk about Kill Bill for, I kid you not, for about probably like 2 hours. But yeah, so we still have a lot to cover. You know, Star Wars even. You know, My Neighbor Totoro. We'll even throw in some animes in there, because like even in Kill Bill, you know, you have that one scene when you meet the I can't remember her name right now, but when you meet her, it's like that whole like anime style shit. So fire. So fuck it, we might throw in like some Ghibli Studios movies for sure. You know, I love A Silent Voice. There's like a certain scene of her and the fireworks going off I fucking love so much. Yeah, we might highlight some Harry Potter shit. I love Tenet, by the way, so fuck you if you don't. It's a great movie. I know you guys might say, oh, it's fucking too complicated. Yeah, but it's not about that. Like, if you start to feel the movie instead of just watch it, goes by a lot better. Silence, very, very good movie. Very good cinematography when it comes to just like nature. And then we have talked about Van Gogh, so I might leave Eternity's Gate for like another time down the road. We didn't get to talk about it. We talked about it like a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna probably talk about mid-90s. Mid-90s is good. Shouts out Jonah Hill. Fucking, I know this movie does have a bit of like, you know, controversy because of like a bit of the scenes, but hey, Jonah Hill, love you, my man. Good job on directing a very great movie to like set across your differences as an actor. I love when people do that, especially like Michael B. Jordan. You know, he directed or no, he produced what is it? Without Remorse. Fucking love that movie. And you know, starring in a movie of like Sinners, and then starring in like another movie of, you know, like so on as like of Black Panther, but then like creating a fucking like he's on the way of creating a banger. What is that? Michael, oh shit, it's probably right here actually. B. Jordan. But still, like he's done great shit. You know, Creed 3, Creed 2. He's like, I think he was like pro-produced. Oh no, it was directed by him. Creed 3, directed by Michael B. Jordan. Honestly, the best Creed, in my opinion. There's so much to break down with Michael B. Jordan and break down with some of his stuff, like as just being an actor in general. But yeah, he's in the works of making, you know, the Thomas Crown Affair. Like, really, really looking forward to this. I love when he directs movies. Great actor, great director. I think he produced this movie as well. Gosh, what does this say to like produce? Oh no, he didn't. He might have just been starring in it. Wait. I think I seen his name for a second. Yeah, no. But he did produce Without Remorse though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, producer. And I love this movie. It's one of the best war movies that I've watched. It's kind of like the special ops war movies, you know, other than like, you know, Hacksaw Ridge and stuff like that. It's like a war movie. This is more of like a SEAL Team 6 like type of vibe, other than, you know, a traditional war movie. Oh shit. I did not know that he was in Love, Death and Robot. What episode? I'm not sure, but Love, Death and Robot is fire. It's a great. We might even do some breakdowns on Love, Death and Robot. But yeah, we're gonna cover a lot of going from actors, going from movies, like. So stay tuned. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions of any movies that you want me to highlight, let me know, because I mean, like, we've gone through a lot already. You know, we still have so much more to go through. But let me know. We'll cover that movie, or maybe it's like a certain scene. Just kind of like, just tell me the movie and maybe tell me the scene that you might want me to highlight so I don't miss it. And yeah, we'll go through. We'll break it down. I'll watch it on my own time and come back to you guys and, you know, break it down. You know, so just let me know. All right, but until next time.